Hey guys, what's going on? Kevincage back with another daily cryptocurrency video. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get right into the information today. So to kick things off, we're going to talk about, this tweet here by Mr. B XRP at XRP Mr. Definite follow in the XRP community here on Twitter. And right here, 61 of Japan's 200 banks are going to be using XRP. And yes, that is absolutely true at some point. Why? Because Yoshitaka Katao, CEO of SBI, has heavy influence with both R3, the banking consortium of well over 300 groups, financial, groups in some of the top central banks of the world, along with, of course, Ripple. And his plan, of course, is Ripple will just continue to focus on remittance and cross-border payments, whereas R3 will try to get with the bigger boys doing in the world of trade finance. And we've already seen various developments with Voltron, Marco Polo, some huge groups with that. And keep in mind, their goal, whether it's Ripple or R3, is to at least integrate and gradually move away from the entire SWIFT network today that processes all the payments today. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars per day. All right. Now, what's going to happen is, of course, we're on SWIFT GPI, but it's going to be migrating. Hopefully more and more current users will go to Xcurrent by Ripple, or however it goes. And then eventually they'll be migrating as the corridors light up gradually. We'll be able to implement it and develop more and more ecosystems. And beyond that, they're actually going to be able to put more of the customer base utilizing XRapid. But it does take time. I'll actually be talking about a thing I've covered in the past about mass enablement as well. But again, this is huge for Japan. They are really leading the revolution. Check out Crypto Addy. She does a fantastic job. It's crypto, and then Addy is E-R-I, and it's Crypto Addy, her YouTube channel, covering a lot of XRP developments in Japan specifically. So, we really are grateful for all the work she does. I just want to cover that. And then again, next part, all of the banks in India are going to be using Ripple with XRP use potential. Now, of course, huge amounts of banks are coming out. It's already been known, this was last year when someone from Ripple publicly said that they have about 80% of all the banks in India in their pipeline as a customer base. And there's, now we have a lot of the larger private banks using Ripple, and when I say Ripple, I mean Ripple's suite of software products. Of course, on Xcurrent, that is great. We have to develop that, develop the trust, show, the POC, the proof of concepts are effective. And then after that, we'll be able to roll it out. Keep in mind, Xcurrent 4.0 is the new, service really, and it'll allow XRP to be enabled if the corridors light up, and in that specific use case, if there are cost savings. And as we get more corridors open with all the pairs and develop that liquidity in the ecosystem, it absolutely will be, but it does take time. And as he wants to emphasize, XRP price is 25 cents. Undervalued. Right here, Crypto Wizard. So crypto and then WZRD underscore. I just want to talk about this. I do not recommend a lot of TA because I technically, I don't really follow it too much, but this guy has been spot on. I've been watching him for, he goes by a few different handles, but I've been watching this handle for a good amount of time. I've been following him for, several years at this point, but he's always pretty accurate. So this is not investment advice, but let's just kind of see how this plays out. So right now, Bitcoin's been around, 10,000, 10,500. Right here, he says, no upside breakout is being considered unless we see a candle closure above the 11,100 mark. And then he's talking right here. There's also a reason I said $6,000 would be our final level upon a major, downside meltdown. So we'll see. This is only if it gets really volatile and actually breaks. And he thinks if it really breaks down, it would stop at 6K. That would be very interesting to see. Keep in mind, right now, at the time of me making this video, Bitcoin's dominance just went under 70%. It is about like 69.9% market dominance. We'll see what happens. All right, right here, Diep-san. It's Stephen Bull from the Diep. I'm sure you guys are already following him here on Twitter. Highly recommend. He always gets great snippets and videos and just posts them. Right here, companies partnering with Coinbase. Keep in mind that they are one of the preferred, Philippine exchange partners for XRapid, and definite follow. And through XRapid, as soon as they sign on, they gain access to nearly 30 banks. So they are the preferred Filipino network. All the PSPs, payment service providers, will be choosing the fastest, cheapest, and most reliable network, of course. And of course, this is already going to be Coinbase as this liquidity develops. Right now, they're sending relatively small payments, but that will be going up. And right now, Coinbase is one of the largest retail distribution footprints of any blockchain company today. There's over 33,000 locations for cash disbursement and collection locations across the country. And as soon as you sign on, as I've already said, you're gaining access to roughly 30 banks immediately. This is the type of developments we need, and this is why I'm following the fundamentals. We are so early. In my opinion, I am not going to sell anything because this is literally the worst time to sell. Right here, Peter Pumpkin Eater. Yes, I'll have some on Twitter. Global payment rails are outdated, and I've covered this clip in the past. I'm not sure if he shared it or just reshared it again, but this is definitely worth talking about. So I believe this gentleman, this is from the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. It's still relevant, so I want to go over this. Global payment rails are outdated. We're talking on RippleNet, XRP, and the XRP ledger is primed to supersede the current $2 to $5 trillion in daily cross-border payments and clearing settlement system. And let's just be conservative and say it's only $2 trillion. They want payments to be frictionless, democratic, universal, and have global liquidity available. This gentleman, as I always reference this in past videos too, is he talks about how frustrating it is that he can get a package via Amazon before he can actually settle a payment. Says, fintechs might solve a lot of these services on the front end and customers don't know any better, but on the back end, settlement is still an issue. All right. The DTCC, they were the Fed before the Fed. All right. They have been around for 166 years. They started everything. They started off with check processing, moved to ACH and wire. They are owned by 24 of the largest banks in the country, almost 500 banks that use their payment rails today. And, keep in mind, their payment rails for doing all of this were developed in the pre-digital age. Do you know how much has changed in 40 years? Pre-internet era, pre-cell phones, everything. It's time to catch up and fix settlements. And then he talks about some of their clientele, talking about lighting up different parts or corridors, in stages. But he also talks about a term that he says mass enabling or mass enablement, and that is lighting up all of the corridors simultaneously. This was huge. This went viral a while back. So very, very curious what could happen with the price of XRP when this does happen. All right, we're going to finish off with this. So XRP Shadow on Twitter. Remember when CBDCs, and these are central bank digital currencies, were a buzz phrase in the community? Absolutely. Everybody and their mom were talking about CBDCs. There was all kinds of FUD saying it's going to replace XRP, blah, 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 blah. But we still need an agnostic bridge asset to bridge all of these central bank digital currencies or walled garden environments. Whether it's a bank or an institution using their own native digital asset, we still needed a bridge asset to transfer value between groups. All right, whether it's B2B payments, business to business, whether it's, peer-to-peer, consumer to business, and vice versa. Now, Christine Lagarde of the IMF, is saying it publicly in European Parliament meetings. And keep in mind, this is probably because China, with the CBDC announcement, is really pushing and putting pressure on. See how quickly things are changing? Adjust your focus from price to fundamentals, and this journey is a cakewalk, I swear. I love that tweet. Definite follow in the XRP community. And keep in mind, guys, there's a lot moving right now. Even Binance.us, the US Binance exchange, is poised to really be released and launch in the next few weeks, I'm hoping within 2 months. This is huge. End of year is boiling up. Looking at the price, I'm right there with you. It's disheartening. But I'm following and reminding myself to follow the fundamentals because big things are ahead. Hit that like button, share this video around for awareness, and I'll see you in the next one.